The first card you have for your past is the King of Wands. So yeah, the King of Wands is right on the edge of his seat. He's ready to do something. So I'm seeing that, you're being, or maybe you're feeling like you are kind of right on the edge of something happening. It's like you were sitting, you're waiting, you're wanting this to happen, and it sort of looked like it was happening a bit, or it was kind of on its way, and then it kind of stopped happening, or it faded away, or it didn't work, or something like that. Something didn't work out for you. This is probably a love situation. Yes, I'm seeing it probably is. And it looked like this might be the one for you. It was like, finally, this might be the one. I'm seeing you were passionate about this person. You were enthusiastic about this relationship or whatever this was. And I think it was a relationship. And they had passion for you too. They had passion for this. I think what happened here was they could have been expecting you to be like the King of Wands, really, expecting you to get up and go and run around and do all the work and take all the action, while they just sat around kind of waiting and not really doing anything, really. So I think at one time, I think you would have really put up with this. You would have put up with them being lazy, you would have put all the work in, and you would have done whatever you could to kind of save this relationship or stop it from falling apart or whatever. But I think you become a lot stronger by the time this person came around. So I'm seeing that actually you might have even tested them a few times in a way. You might have seen if they'd kind of step up and actually do something. You might have sat around waiting for them. Let's see how long it takes for them to do something, and they didn't do anything. So yeah, they just wanted you to do everything. That's what I'm seeing. They wanted you to do all the running. They wanted you to make all the calls. They wanted you to do all the texts first. They wanted you to organize everything. They wanted you to arrange stuff. They wanted you to, be available all the time. And but they didn't have to be. It was very one-sided. And yes, this sounds really negative, and obviously it wasn't a beautiful, positive experience for you, but it made you stronger. And I think, you'd become a bit stronger by the time they came along. So you were able to kind of say, well, I'm not putting up with that. But I think after this, you became even stronger than that again. So that's why this has actually been a good experience for you. Not while you were going through it, obviously, but the result of this made you a lot stronger. So I'm just seeing as well, I'm not sure if, I think maybe some kind of outside circumstances came in, and maybe this organically came to an end, or you're separated for some reason that was kind of outside of both of you. Maybe that's what's happening. I'm not sure. I think maybe something come in and something happened and they had to move, or something happened and they had to do something else and it wasn't going to work. But actually this was kind of a relief for you, because I think after a while you knew that this wasn't the person for you. Yeah, because I'm not seeing any arguments, I'm not seeing any fights around this separation or anything like that. But I am really glad you got out of this situation, because, you're such a giver. This is what I'm seeing. You give and you give and you give, and you do everything for someone. You're like an unconditional giver, and you feel that this is what you have to do. I think you've had a lucky escape. I think you really did. You really had a lucky escape. The next card you have for your past is the Six of Cups. So, yeah, I'm seeing something really beautiful in this card. Now, I don't normally talk about soulmates or twin flames or anything like that, but I am seeing that you do have someone who might be the person for you, the person. Now, you might know who they are, you might not, but I'm getting a sense that you might, if this resonates with you, if this is for you, you might know who this is. This card can be about reunions, but what I'm seeing here is that there's a contrast between what's going on in the foreground and what's going on in the background of this card. I don't know if you can see it, but in the left-hand corner, right on the left-hand side of this card, there's a man walking away from us. He's very small and he's walking away. He's in the background. So, yeah, he's walking away, And I think this is about this person in the King of Wands leaving your life. And I think they've left your life. And this has opened you up to experience a possible reunion with this person, someone who you've always felt comfortable with, someone who you've always felt at home with, because I'm looking at the home in this card as well. And I can't see when this is going to happen. I wish I could tell you it was tomorrow or the next day, but I can't really do that. But it is going to happen. And yeah, if you had have stayed with this person in the King of Wands, you wouldn't have even have been open to even think about this reunion. You wouldn't have even been thinking about this person. You would have been thinking, oh no, I'm in this terrible situation. But you wouldn't have even thought, oh, I'm going to be open to someone else because you're in another relationship. So this all happened at the right time so that you'd be ready for this reunion when it comes. That's what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense to you. So the last card you have for your present is the Star. So yeah, this person who I think is going to be reuniting with you, I'm seeing that they most probably are. They could be far away from you at this time, or they could have been far away from you at this time. I'm seeing someone who was at a distance from you. They might still be. And yeah, I'm seeing renewal in this card. So again, this is definitely someone who you already know. And they're like this beautiful golden star. They're not around you, they're distant from you, like this star in the sky. They're at a distance from you. But it's like they're watching over you, not literally, but it's like they can kind of feel your energy and they're kind of watching over you. And maybe they're thinking about you. And maybe they know that one day you're going to, like this woman here, you're going to stand up. And you're going to turn around and you're going to start walking toward them, toward this star. But before you do all of that, I'm seeing you're like this woman in this card again. She's taking care of herself. She's washing herself and she's beautiful. So she's kind of making herself nice and probably making herself smell fresh and feel nice and all those things. So you're taking care of yourself. And you're building up your confidence, or you were at this time, you probably still are, and making yourself ready, perhaps without even realizing. It's like you're preparing yourself for this reunion, and you weren't even realizing that's what you were doing. You were just kind of taking care of yourself, looking after yourself, building up your confidence, all of that kind of thing. So the first card you have for your present is the Ten of Pentacles. So yeah, as well as taking care of yourself and, you know, building your confidence up and all of that, you're building up your money at this time. You're kind of taking care of your money. And I always see you as very career-minded. You're always very business-minded. And the other thing I'm seeing is you might sometimes mix business with pleasure. And I don't always think that's a bad thing. Some people say that. Sometimes it can be a bad thing. And sometimes it can be, excuse me. Oh, I had a hiccup. So sometimes it can be good. Sometimes it can be bad. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Depending on who's involved, obviously. If you have a good family member who's fine, then, you know, there's no problem with mixing business with pleasure, a good friend. If you have someone who isn't that great, obviously you don't want to mix business with pleasure. But this is what you were doing. I think this is what you are doing. You like doing that. You like having your friends or family being involved in your work in some way. That's what I'm seeing. But yes, in this card, I'm seeing saving. And saving carefully because of something you're planning. That's what I'm seeing. What's standing out to me in this card is this plaque. It might be a bit hard to see, but there's a plaque and it's on a pillar that's holding up this archway. Now on that plaque, there are two ships on it, right above the old man's head. That's where it is. And so you could be saving to plan to travel. You might be traveling with someone else because there are two ships here, so there are two. And you might just be a little bit unsure about whether this is going to happen. You know, I think you do like this person. Obviously, if you want to travel with them, you like them. There's nothing wrong with this person, but there might be a question mark over dates or whether they're going to be able to travel on certain dates or something like that. So you're kind of planning this, but you have a kind of an unsure feeling around this. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your present is the Moon. So yes, this is a very complicated card. Sometimes it's very positive. It can be a lot of it is about feelings, what's going on inside yourself, all of that kind of thing. It can be about dreams, can be about nightmares. So I'm seeing something quite unusual in this, and I hope this is going to make sense, and I hope I'm going to be able to explain what I'm seeing to you. What I'm seeing in this is about your subconscious. So this is about your inner thoughts, this is about your inner feelings. And as you come out of this dark time, because you came out of this dark time after this relationship ending, and you came out of the water like this lobster. You started coming out of the water, taking care of yourself, feeling a lot better, getting your confidence back. So you started on this path this lobster's on. You might be starting to look back and maybe think about internally why you do things, why you're kind of compelled to feel certain ways, act in certain ways. And maybe think about why, maybe you're thinking about, or maybe you are thinking about why for such a long time you were such a giver. Because I keep on seeing you give, give, give. And why you felt that you always had to give so much, but you felt very uncomfortable about being a taker. Now, not in a bad way, not in a selfish way. I don't mean being a taker in that way. I mean that you just weren't happy just to accept and receive love from people and kindness from people. And you kind of might have been delving into yourself and wondering why that is, and kind of exploring that. And I think this was a really good thing. This is a really good thing for you to be doing. You need to do this. And I'm just looking at these watchtowers as well. And if you're up inside a watchtower, you can see everything. It's a bit like when you're looking out of the window of an aeroplane, you can see everything up high that you can't see when you're on the ground. So this is about you looking back into your past, looking back into yourself. And I think I've seen this in your readings before, that maybe someone didn't give you unconditional love. This might have happened when you were a child. And maybe someone's love, someone who was taking care of you, might have been a parent, their love was conditional. And this was very sad. This is very sad for me to see, because as a child, you should be loved unconditionally. And so as a result of that, as an adult, you might have felt that you had to give and give and give to receive any kind of love. You weren't able to just receive love just for the sake of receiving it. That's what I'm seeing there. And I think when you go through this time, if you're not going through this right now, this kind of introspection, this kind of really getting into yourself, thinking about all of that, you might be doing this through meditation, you might just be thinking. You're going to work out that this isn't true, that you don't have to give and give and give, and the other person take and take and take. It doesn't work like that. You truly deserve to be loved just because you're you. You deserve to be loved because you are you. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing that. Okay, I hope that doesn't sound too cringy, but I just want to say that again. You deserve to be loved because you're you. So if this resonates, this is a very, very important work that you're doing on yourself, and I really hope you are. This is what I'm seeing, work that really has to be done on yourself. You're doing the work on the outside with this beautiful woman in the star. You're taking care of yourself, which is amazing. You're probably exercising, you're doing things, nice things with your hair, and you might be, whatever you're doing. But more importantly, you're doing the work on the inside, and this is the most important thing. And I really hope this does resonate, because I am seeing that you are a giver, and you have to explore that, and you have to realize that it's important to also be a receiver, because you deserve it. The last card you have for your present is the Chariot. So yeah, again, this work that you're doing on yourself, this is obviously very, very positive. The end result is going to be very positive. You're going to come out of this a lot more confident, a lot more of knowing why you do things. You're going to be able to stop yourself when you're doing something that isn't right for you. Train yourself to do the right thing. That's what I'm seeing. For yourself, not for anyone else, the right thing for you. And This is a very important work. It's also a process. So it might make you start to question as you go through this process. People in your life, you might even start to question people's motives. Be careful. Don't make snap decisions at this time, at this early stage when you're starting to go through this. Don't kind of get rid of people, cut yourself off from people, do any drastic things until you've worked through this process properly. Now, when you've worked through this process properly and you come out the other side and you understand everything properly, then you can make whatever decisions you like. But I just think at this time it's way too early to do that. Now, the other thing I'm seeing here is if you're really struggling very seriously doing this kind of inner work, don't do this yourself. If you feel that you can't do this yourself, try and get a counsellor if you feel that that's what you need to do. If this resonates with you and it is a lot more serious than what I'm seeing here, because it might be, please go and see a counsellor. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have for your future is the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, I always see this in your readings. You're a very hard worker, obviously. You're a very solid worker. That's what this card is all about. Strength, solidity, plodding along slowly, doing things very carefully and taking your time and making sure everything's right. So you're a very reliable worker, you're a very organized worker. You're a very resilient person as well, because if this resonates and you're still doing all of this inner work that you're doing, this can be a very difficult process. This can be a very painful process at times, but you're still able to keep up with all of your practical work that you need to do. And not only keep up, but you excel in it. You still excel. So you're very good at separating your work life from your personal life. And I think I'm hearing this deja vu, because I think I've said this before in your readings, but I'm seeing this as well here. So, and I'm seeing you're excelling, especially in a project that you're working on. You're moving forward with this project. It might be coming to a part or a section of the project that is going to need a lot of extra attention, attention to detail I'm seeing. And this is where you definitely excel. You're really good at detail. You know that it's worth the extra time it's going to take to make sure everything's done properly and perfectly. Even if it's a little bit later than you would have wanted, you're happy to work on this and make sure everything's right. And I think you're right to do that. You know this. This is your project. You know this better than anyone else. So the next card you have for your future is the Five of Pentacles, yes. So this really isn't as bad as it looks. You're not going to be destitute or anything like that. And I think you know that. But you are going to be missing someone. Okay, so you are missing someone, or you're going to be missing someone at this time. So this is what I'm seeing in this card. Now, I don't want to upset you. I don't want to step on any toes or whatever. And yeah, I am seeing in the whole, I hope this is going to make sense to you. I don't know. I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing. Yeah, you're going to be missing someone, especially around the holidays, because this is when you used to spend a lot of time with this person that you're going to be missing, maybe even as a child. And again, I don't want to upset anyone. Obviously, this isn't going to be for everyone, but there's an older woman I'm seeing, and she might not be here on this earth anymore. And if you know who this is, this person loves you. This woman really loves you. She likes something that you've done around your home. She approves of something you've done around your house, maybe recently. She likes it. She approves of it. She has a similar taste to you in something. And I hope that makes sense to someone. And they know that you miss them as well. I can see that. So I just hope that hasn't upset anyone or made anyone angry. But I wanted to say that. So the last card you have for your future is the Ace of Cups. So yes, look at this. Love is coming in for you again. This could be this beautiful reunion I was seeing in the Six of Cups. And, excuse me, my nose is getting stuffy again. I've got allergies. But yes, this is going to happen. You're going to have this reunion. And the most important thing of all is you're going to have this reunion when you've been through this difficult process, this introspective, very important process, this internal process. So when you come out the other side, this is when you'll be ready. It's like you're going to pop out the other side and you'll be like, right, I'm confident, I'm ready, I know what I want, I know what I don't want, I know what to accept, I know what not to accept, I know what my behaviors are likely to be, I know where they're coming from, and I know how to train myself to change. That's really, really important and really special. And it's just at that time that I think you're going to come in to meet this person again. And love is going to bloom. Look at these beautiful, I don't know if you can see them on the camera, I'll move that out. Beautiful water lilies at the bottom of this card. So look at this, you're going through this process. Look at this dove. It's going through the cup, it's coming through. There are tears, there are problems. You're going into yourself, you're delving deeply into yourself. You come out the other end. And what's at the other end? Beautiful water lilies, and they're blooming. That's what this new love is going to be, and that's what you're going to find at the end of this process. That's what I'm seeing.